Where's the mind? Where's the mind?
AfterBuzz TV, starting place to the likes of WWE female superstars Cathy, Kelley, Sonya, Deville, and Zelina Vega proudly presents Women's Wrestling Weekly, the world's first podcast and YouTube series dedicated exclusively to women's wrestling, featuring all the latest news as well as interviews with top superstars in the industry. And now, AfterBuzz TV's own gorgeous lady of wrestling, TK Trinidad.
Bonjour, you're watching Women's Wrestling Weekly, the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet. My name is TK Trinidad, aka the Canadian Assassin, and with me she hails from the Valley. She is a farmer's daughter or somebody's daughter for sure, for sure. Please welcome Emily Mae.
Hi, everyone.
How are you doing?
We're good.
We're
good.
You're deep into it now.
I know.
We're like a billion episodes.
How many episodes down?
I don't even know right now. Now, this show, we have Star of the Week, but this show is mainly about female wrestlers and our amazing guests, and today is no exception. She does slams, she does jams, but according to her, she's not about that glam, but she's bringing joy to us all. Please welcome Ayoka. Hello, hello.
Hi.
Thank you for joining us. So let's get into it. How did wrestling start for you?
The first time, I guess you could say I got bit by the wrestling bug is I was just flipping through channels when I was 6 years old, and I came across Stone Cold Steve Austin just stomping a mud hole in somebody's chest. I don't remember who. And I thought it was the coolest thing ever. And I've been watching wrestling ever since.
And now taking it from being a watcher to a doer, I guess?
Oddly enough, I didn't even consider wrestling as a career option or anything until maybe I was just about ready to head off to college. I figured, okay, if for some reason college doesn't work out, I don't get into any of my schools, what would be like my plan D or E or F? I was like, I'm going to run away and I'm going to become a professional wrestler. I'm just going to pimp off.
How did your parents feel about that?
I never told my mother, and I never had to because I got into college. But as soon as I graduated and started my first job, I found out that there was a local promotion, and I went to one of their largest shows of the year. And I was like, okay, I know they have a school, and you know what? Let's just jump into it. So I went to the promoter, Roger Ruffin, and I asked him, I know you guys have a school. When do you guys have trainings? And can I come in? How does it work? And he's like, just come in on Tuesday. We'll let you sit in on a class. And at the end, if you still want to give it a shot, then we'll have you do the paperwork and everything. And that's exactly what I did. And that was 4 years ago now.
Oh, nice. Now, describe your first bump to us.
Yeah.
How did that feel?
The ring I learned in was of a prehistoric age. It was the weirdest, and they like something wrong happened to the ring, so they kept moving the spring around, so it was too stiff. So my first bump was like, oh, and the rest from there, in theory, would be easier. But funny enough, you always find new ways to bump hard, especially in the industry.
Well, you kept going.
This is true.
Yeah.
What has been like some of the exercises you did in training that, I mean, do you have like a major athletic background, or was this like your first time trying to do something like this?
I was on the track and field team in my junior and senior year because I thought it would get me out of PE credits, but it turns out I was too late. So I was just in track and field. And my track and field team was like the baddest in North Texas. We have like
in Texas. Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah. Like
Rough.
And I went to a private girls' school, so everyone at the meets is like, "Oh, we're gonna crush them. Look at these weaklings." But it's like, no, we would destroy them handily, or at least our varsity team would. So I was basically in the deep end. I was always training with people who are way, way better than me, and that's always nice to have in whatever you do because it puts you harder. But yeah, wrestling wasn't the first time I was physically exerted.
What events did you run in track?
I didn't run in track, thank God. I did do long jump, and I
Okay.
almost destroyed
Okay.
my ankles doing triple jump once.
Oof. So when you started like running the ropes for the first time, did that background help you?
The mechanics of running the ropes are different because it's a very short distance. So the idea is more control and finding a rhythm and figuring out the right time to turn around and pivot and to distribute your weight and stuff like that. So it's helpful to have an athletics background just to know your body, just to basically have a mind-body connection that helps you go from watching something and trying something and then it clicking physically. So to that degree, it was really helpful. Um, but you'll always find ways to do things better. Like virtually.
Now, Texas has a whole bunch of. I'm a former track athlete as well, so Texas has a whole bunch of track stars, but it's also known for a lot of different wrestling promotions. And you've been in the game for 4 years. Who have you gone up against, and who would you like to have matches against?
Oh God. I feel like I haven't been up against that many people. Well, no. There have definitely been people that are fun to wrestle. Like Heather Monroe is always fun. She's a fun heel.
Yeah.
A newer girl, Sandra Moon, she's great and she's fun. Somebody that I knew I wanted to wrestle the second I met them, like that became like one of my wrestling goals, is Mercedes Martinez. Like I got to meet her on a Rise show, and just to listen to her, like she agented one of my matches, and just to listen to her break something down so succinctly and give you all of the advice that you need to improve, or tell you this is what you did right, this is what you did wrong, this is how I would do it. Like, and just to know her background, just to know that somebody's been in the business for 20 years and to still be incredible. It's like, yeah, I want to wrestle Mercedes. And I know she's wrestled Tessa Blanchard for like an hour and a half or something.
Yeah.
I was like, I want to wrestle for 3 hours. I want to wrestle Mercedes until the end of time. I don't know how, but I want to do it.
That's a
I
goal.
mean, I know it's definitely possible with wrestling's concerned. Any dream matches that you want to have?
You know, when I started training, I never thought about stipulation matches much. But now, I think more and more, I want a cage match. I don't care how, but I do want to have a cage match. Hell in a Cell is like the biggest cage match ever, and I don't want to overextend myself, but God, that sounds fun. Like, if you're gonna go big, just go. Just go.
There you have it.
30 by 30 by 30 of steel.
Oh man, climb the outside of the cage.
Oh my gosh.
So you had this a little while ago. You had your match with Heather Monroe at Championship Wrestling from Hollywood. How was that? How was that experience creating that match?
It's probably the highest profile match I've been in, and I remember getting there and backstage, we got the run sheet, and I don't remember who was agenting for us, but they're like, okay, you've got 2 segments. And then Heather was all like, whoa, we get 2 segments. And I was like, I barely know what that means, but that's good. And I just remember thinking, okay, I just don't want to mess this up. We just want to make sure that we hit our time cues, because that's big on TV.
Yeah.
And to actually be in there, at first you're nervous, especially the first half, but by the time we got to like our first segment ending, then everything seemed to go like flow better, easier, and it just became more bam, bam, bam. So in the end, it wasn't like as intimidating as I thought it would be. I've probably been hyping myself up for that match for like the previous month, but to actually do it, it's like, this is fun. I want to do it again and again and again and again.
Nice. So, what's the goal for the career, like the next 5 years?
My least favorite question in actual job interviews. I don't know. I guess.
Do you want to travel? Do you want to be a part of a certain promotion?
Yeah.
Personally, I've always wanted to wrestle in Japan. So I don't want to put away my boots without wrestling in Japan at least once.
Nice.
And I'm not a big long-term thinker. I usually just have my micro goals, like my lists, my bucket lists. So Japan is on that list. Maybe the UK would be cool. And I would like to wrestle for one major promotion once.
And then what? You're gonna call it quits, or what happens after that?
I don't know. From
What the
there,
hell
how
happens
you evaluate?
I know what happens. Like, what happens that happens within the next year?
If it happens within the next year, then it's like, oh wow. Then I guess I just have to keep escalating.
Okay.
Yeah,
Sometimes it isn't about a cutoff. It's about hitting a goal and then realizing that's just the first step. And then you make up the next steps.
There you go.
I like that. You take little baby steps.
Yep.
And then huge leaps.
And then huge leaps. So we are going to hit rapid hot tags real quick.
Women's Wrestling Rapid Hot Tags.
So what's going to happen is I'm going to ask you a question. You're going to say the first thing that comes to your mind. So are you always early or always late?
Always early.
What is the one thing you love about yourself?
My nose.
Dream dinner guest.
The Great Muda.
If you were a crayon, what color would you be?
Do they still have the, what is it? It's like a flower color. The weird
Violet?
blue.
Oh. I know they have Jay-Z blue now and Nipsey blue.
Of course they
know.
get blues.
We'll have to look that up.
A flower blue. We'll take
Okay.
that. Last show you binge watched.
Mindhunter.
And if you were on death row, what would be your last meal?
Pancakes and waffles and bacon and eggs.
Oh, breakfast. Okay.
There you have it. Thank you so much for hopping on the show. Where can people find you? What's your social media?
Oh, God. I have a Twitter. I'm pretty sure I'm the only at Ayoka Muhara. I haven't been on there in forever, but it's there. My Instagram is at a.muhara, if I'm not mistaken. And you can find me on Facebook under Ayoka Muhara. I have all the Ayoka Muharas. I'm the only Ayoka Muhara. That's pretty much the point.
And now, is it your name means joy or bringing joy?
Oh, yeah. Ayoka means surrounded by joy.
Nice.
Oh, I love that.
I know. Like you surround by joy and then you beat their behinds.
Beat them up.
There you go. Thank you so much for hopping on the show. We really appreciate it. We look forward to you getting to all these goals and setting new goals and being in promotions, all that good stuff. And then also see you on Championship Wrestling with that match with Heather Monroe.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me on.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh. So amazing. I love seeing wrestling goals.
She's so sweet. She's blossoming, and I'm excited to see her, around Southern California.
Blossom more?
Like the...
So we're going to get to the star of the week real quick so we get blossoming.
All right, someone who is blossoming. Our star of the week is Kelley Ray, our UK NXT superstar and women's champion. She has a 10 plus years on the independent circuit. She's worked with such promotions as NWA, Insane Championship Wrestling, Total Nonstop Action Wrestling. She's made her debut in NXT in 2015, and she's completely changed the game. She's had 6-woman tag team matches before. She's worked at World of Sport. I love Kelley Ray. I think she's fantastic. And then in August she got the UK NXT Championship.
Nice.
So it's a new reign.
I really want NXT and NXT UK to just come together.
Do you want to combine? Do you think there's going to be more?
I think they should. Because it's already a lot of wrestling, period. So this is more a personal, selfish thing. But it's just I watch NXT because I cover the NXT show for AfterBuzz. Yes. And there are people on NXT UK that I did follow because of Mae Young, but I just legitimately do not have the time to take in NXT UK on top of everything else.
Yeah, well, you'll see Kelley Ray even more. And I'm very happy to say that she is our star of the week.
Oh, okay.
No.
Right. No hand claps. Okay. All right. Cool. Thank you, Emily. There. Thank you. A little late, but better than never. Where can everybody find you?
So you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Emily Mae Heller.
And make sure if you're watching us on YouTube, make sure you hit that subscribe button. If you're listening on any other platforms, make sure you hit the like button on iTunes, 5 stars or better. Make sure that you follow AfterBuzz TV on all social media platforms, and also follow Women's Wrestling Weekly on all social media platforms at WPW Weekly. And you can follow me at TK Trinidad on everything. Till we meet again. See you guys later. Ciao.
From executive producer Kevin Undergaro, producer TK Trinidad, and me, Maria Menounos, we would like to thank you for tuning in to Women's Wrestling Weekly. To help TK, the crew, and women's wrestling in general, we ask that you subscribe, rate, and comment on Women's Wrestling Weekly at Apple Podcasts, and subscribe to our AfterBuzz TV wrestling channel on YouTube for this and other outstanding wrestling content. Buzz you later.